Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna do just a very quick video about a very small part. I think a lot of you, or maybe some of you, had the issue with the steering wheel can't be moved back and forth. So you can adjust it back and forth and you can adjust it up and down. So that's very nice to have, obviously, because yeah, who doesn't want to have that? But the problem is, at least with mine, and according to the forum, it was a few people that had this issue, you couldn't adjust it back and forth. Up and down still worked, but not back and forth. And the issue with that is somewhere along the steering column. When you release the handle and get the steering wheel free, that little plastic thingy should release the, I don't know what it's called, but the metal part that hooks into the steering column and lets you adjust it back and forth. But sometimes they break. As you can see, they are very, very small and very, very thin as well. So it's just this little piece that breaks in two and it's just this thing that breaks in two. And what this does, it's on the steering column. Let me fix it up. This is how it should be when it's intact. And this little thingy, this little, I don't know, knock? I don't know. This little thingy right here should press against another metal piece. I will show you that later in the car. And that will release, as soon as you push the handle down, that will release the steering column so you can push it back and forth. But as you can see, that's a very weak part. It's a very small plastic part and sometimes they just break. I don't know why, because I never mistreated it or anything. I always did it very carefully, but maybe during racing or during pushing hard, I don't know, or maybe during bumps, it just got broken. And as soon as this one breaks, this thing here, this notch, that's the word I looked for. This notch doesn't press against the metal thingy and it doesn't release the steering column, so you can't push it back and forth, which is basically the problem. Now, as I heard, Toyota is fixing that and they fixed it by replacing the whole steering column. You can do that, obviously, but I don't know if that's gonna fix anything, because it's not gonna be stronger the next time and it will just break again. So you're gonna be there with this problem forever, and maybe they just run out of steering columns. I don't know. Now, there's a lot of very intelligent people out there, and one of them is Magnus from Sweden. I think he's from Sweden. I met him over the forum, over the GR Sue. For the ones who doesn't know it, the gr-sue.co.uk, I think it is, or .com. I know, I will just show it you down here. And I've met Magnus there and we talked a little bit, and he told me, or he has a tweet about this even, I think he has a tweet about it. And he found a very good solution, or he created a very good solution. He just made a 3D printable part. He has the file online, so if you have a 3D printer, you can just print it out. He has a few other things I already printed out. One is for the headrest on the passenger side to install your GoPro. That's also very nice. I will post a link somewhere in the description, or maybe down here, to his site where he posts that stuff. So his solution is just a 3D printed part, which looks like this. It's basically, he has two versions. One is this one with a little lever where you can just, it's easier. I would use this one. It's just easier to pull it onto the steering column. The other one is a little bit flimsy to put on. This one's just much easier. So instead of having a complete surrounding part, you just stick with one of these and you just push this thing back on, and this with this notch right here, this will push the metal thingy, and you can release the steering column. So this is installed. I think I needed 15 minutes tops. You just have to take apart the plastic thing around the steering wheel or around the steering column. There are 3 bolts, 2 on each side and 1 on the lower part. And if you take these 3 bolts out, you can just take it apart completely, and then you're gonna see, not this one, but you're gonna see this one. And I was a little bit confused because it was still on the shaft and it looked like it will still work. Then I pulled a little bit and it just fell apart. So it was broken, but you couldn't see it from the bottom. So let's have a look where this thing goes. Now that is the steering wheel. As you can see, the plastic thing around is already removed. You just have to remove this. Now, that's the lever I was talking about. And now let's have a look at it. It's this part right here. There's the lever and it just goes in like this. And as you can see, these metal steps, this notch presses against some metal part down here, and this one releases the steering column so you can pull it back and forth, as you can see. So now it just slides in and out. As soon as you push this one up, don't know if you could see it, it just gets compressed, so it just pulls these things together. I'll just show you again. You can see this one moving, so it just locks it, and now it's completely locked. As soon as you release it, you can turn it again. And all this thing does, it pushes against this one and gives you all the space you need. And as soon as it's not, it's working again. So that's basically it. Just takes a few minutes to replace. So that's a pretty easy fix, as said, and it just takes a couple of minutes. If you are left with these broken, just go to someone with a 3D printer in your area and they will print this out for basically nothing. The guy who always prints stuff for me, I don't have a 3D printer, but in the same building there's a guy with, I think, 4 or 5, and they're running all the time. So he just prints stuff for me if I need it. And he said the cost of 2, he printed me 2, so that's why I have 2. I have a replacement one for me, for myself, because you don't know if this is gonna break as well. They cost him, I think, 50 cents or something like that. So they're basically for free. I always give him something for his work because, yeah, it's always, even if the part is cheap, he has to put in the file and take it out of the printer and everything. And so I just always give him something for this. If you have a broken one, just go to someone with a 3D printer in your area, or if you don't know anybody, just give me a call or write me an email and I'll hit you up with one of these. I always give him just 10 euros for a printing job, doesn't matter how small the part is. So if you want one, just let me know. 10 euros plus postage, or if you have someone local, it would be much cheaper because it costs basically nothing. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Have a good week. Bye.